So we're going to kind of wrap up the show by talking about two more things. Let's talk about the Knicks and the Mets. Your New York Knicks, man. What's been going on? You guys haven't won a championship since 1973. You know, what do you think has been the biggest deciding factor for the franchise since that time as to why the team has just been bad? What do you think?
Yeah, when I first started, when I first started watching the Knicks, they were my favorite team in all sports. They were, I was a kid. The 90s Knicks were great. They were tough. They were gritty. But really, since I've been about 15 years old, it's been the same story with them that it's been with the Giants as of late. And that's instability. And that's what the Knicks have always been. The Giants only the last 6 or 7 years. The Knicks since I was 15 years old, which is 20 years. Instability. Constantly flipping the GM. Constantly flipping the head coach. Trying to take shortcuts. Giving away draft picks. Trying to bring in established veterans that were over the hill. Stephon Marbury. Zach Randolph. Antonio McDyess. Go down the list. What's his name? The guy from the Raptors that we traded for. Two first-round picks I think we gave up for him. What's it? The white Italian guy. What's his name? I can't remember. But so many bad trades that the New York Knicks made that has set back the franchise because they always try to take shortcuts. And it's what I'm encouraged about. Not that they've played good the last couple of games, but it's what I'm encouraged about in terms of the direction of this team. The last 2 or 3 years, they have not done that. They've stayed the course. They've brought in young talent. They've accrued cap space. They've signed guys to short deals. Julius Randle was only a 3-year commitment with a 2-year opt-out. They have not, the Tim Hardaway contract was horrible, but that was a couple of years ago. They've stayed the course. They've brought in young talent. Now, this young talent needs to mature. It needs to get better, and that's when you try to bring in premier free agents. But, to me, it's instability with the New York Knicks.
What are some of your thoughts on some of the young players they brought in? Obi Toppin, obviously a high draft pick this year. He's only 22 years old. You look at a guy like Kevin Knox, hasn't really lived up to his full potential yet. A lot of people thought that he could be something big maybe one day. Some people were split on him, but hasn't really shown the promise you would think that he's shown 3 years in. But he's still only 21 years old. You look at a guy like R.J. Barrett. He's 20 years old. He's in his second season. But talk about some of the young players they brought in. The Obies, the Knoxes, the Barretts. What do you think about the young core?
Yeah, I think it's unproven. Obi Toppin, I think he needs to have an immediate impact when he gets back from injury because he's already 22. He's a guy that you brought in 4 years of college at Dayton. I think he's going to be an exciting player. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star. I think he'd be a very good player for the Knicks. We'll see. We don't know yet. Kevin Knox, to me, I was never super high on him. I actually wanted, what's his name? Bridges. I wanted Mikal Bridges. He ended up going to the Suns. Good 3-and-D player. I was always a fan of his. Knox, like you said, was a guy with upside. But, when I first saw him play, I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's completely – and he really
doesn't really seem to have that aggression, that alpha, He's young, but you just don't see the
uncoordinated, too. He just seems uncoordinated. Like, he doesn't know what he's going to do on the court. He doesn't think things out.
He doesn't have a great feel for the game. He's super talented. He's got the measurables, but lacks that feel for the game. And once you get to the NBA, if you're not developed, I think that he could have used another year in college. I think that he really could have.
I'm completely with you on that. And maybe he develops into something. I don't ever think he's going to be a star. I like Mitch Robinson. I think Mitch Robinson, if he could stay out of foul trouble, could really develop into being a pretty good center in the NBA. Barrett, I still like Barrett. I still really like Barrett. I don't know if he's ever going to be a superstar, but I think he'd be a good player. I don't think the Knicks have what we were all hoping Kristaps Porzingis was going to be, which it turns out probably won't be. He's continuing the injury history there with the Dallas Mavericks. But Porzingis, I think why we were all so upset about that trade, you saw a guy that could be a top 8 to 10 player in the league. You saw it. The guy was an MVP candidate before he got hurt. He's a super talented player. We don't have that yet. We need that. And whether that's going to come in the draft or free agency, I don't know. But I do like the young core. I like Neil Aquina as a role player. He's never going to be a starter. I think we have good young players that are emerging and getting better. I like Thibodeau. But we need 2 big impact players, and whether Barrett develops into that, or whether they sign a top tier guy via free agency, that's the way to go about doing things. But they're not there yet.
Take it or leave it. Knicks a playoff team in 2021 this year.
No, I think in the end maybe they get the 9 or 10. I know they're doing that play-in now, where the 7 plays the 10. Maybe they get that, but no, I don't think they'll finish in the top 8 in the East. I think I hope I'm wrong. I think, some Knicks fans may disagree with me. I think the Knicks' best course of action is to trade Julius Randle. I don't think Julius Randle's in the long-term plans of this team. Maybe I'm wrong. He's only 26, but they have the option to get out after this year. If you get 2 first-round picks like we did for Porzingis for Randall, you run. You do it. You continue to bring in a young influx of talent. That's the route that I would take. I want to continue to rebuild and continue to build the youth movement. But we'll see what happens. But no, I think they'll miss the playoffs.
Got it. Go Brooklyn Nets. That's all I'm going to say.
Nets are good. Nets are good.
Yeah, we're good. We'll see if Kevin Durant can bring us the title. I think that he can. I really do. But
I didn't know you were a Nets fan. You were a Nets fan? I didn't know that.
I'm a Kevin Durant fan. That's who I am. If he gets another title, I think he's a top 10 player all time. I really do.
I agree with definitely. Yes.
I think he's in the 15 range right now. He's in that fringe.
If he did it with the Nets, I'd agree with that. I think he
would pass Larry Bird. He passed Larry Bird.
Ooh.
He'd be at least close to Larry Bird because he's more talented than Bird. Bird was a great shooter, but I think Durant, he's a top 3 scorer of all time.
Larry Bird, though, I mean, you're talking about Larry Legend. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. We'll talk about that.
He'll be knocking on Larry's door at least. we'll say that.
Yeah. If he wins a title,
hey Larry,
he's got Larry's address. If he wins a title, he's got Larry's address.
Hey Larry, move over. I'm better. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.